This is Grammar Points 5-2, Lesson 40, which is about transitions. In language, we often have clue words that let the listener or the audience understand that there's going to be something following your keyword that they need to pay attention to. And we call these transitions. The word transition actually means a change or a movement from one position to another. Now, those positions might be the same, or they might be a supporting position, or they might be opposite position. So we use transitions in several different ways. We might use them before a concluding statement. So we say, we make several reasons for a position that we have, and then we're going to kind of summarize or give a final concluding statement at the end. Then we would use a transition before that last statement to let the listener or the reader know that something important is going to be said. We might use them before giving reasons to support a statement. If I make a statement and then I'm going to give my reasons for that statement, then I give them a clue word, a key word, a transition word to let them know that there's going to be reasons coming. And finally, before giving a contrary idea to a previous topic or statement that was made, I might say something, that some condition, but then the result of that condition is not what you would have expected, or it might be the opposite of what you would have expected. So in that case, you would also use a transition word. There are 4 transition words that we'll talk about in this unit. The first of them is however. And I will want to note for you that when you use however, you put a semicolon in front of the word and a comma after it, not just a comma as you would with but. So, however contrasts a previous statement. For example, my friend was completely unprepared for the test. Now, you might think that if you're unprepared for a test, you're going to fail the test because you were unprepared for it. However, he did very well. So, the listener or the reader would think that because he wasn't prepared for the test, he's going to fail the test or do poorly, but in fact, he did very well. So we use the word however to show a contrary result or position. The second example here, the earth is being damaged by pollution from science and industry. That means that scientific development or businesses or corporations that do a lot of building are creating pollution which is damaging the earth. However, it is science and industry which we are counting on to find the solutions to pollution. So these science and industry are causing pollution, but it is also science and industry who have the ability and the know-how to actually combat pollution in the future. So it's a kind of race that the same organizations or companies that are producing pollution are the ones who we are hoping in the future will be able to save us from pollution. So the word however shows this kind of contrary position. The transition word therefore comes before giving after reasons to support a position. So I have given all of my reasons for the position that I have, and I'm going to make a concluding statement. So I say therefore blah blah blah. So for example, A equals B, okay? B equals C. These are the 2 given bits of information. Therefore, A equals C. So there is a logical conclusion based on the proof or the evidence that came before. Therefore is often represented mathematically as 3 dots that make a kind of pyramid. Another example. Mr. Davis said that if it rained, the game would be canceled. It's raining now, therefore, the game must have been canceled. So we've got our conditions. He said that if it rains, it's canceled. It's raining, therefore, the game must be canceled. The transition word in addition is when you have already given a reason for a position, but you're going to give an additional or an extra reason than the one that was already stated. So, for example, I don't want to go on the trip. I have too much homework. So, I have too much homework is one reason why I don't want to go on the trip. In addition, I heard the weather is going to be terrible this weekend, so I'm providing an additional or extra support for my position that I don't want to go on the trip. Another example, parents should always answer questions from their children. That's my statement. This is the main way in which children learn about the world around them. So, this is the main way in which children learn about the world around them is my first reason. But I'm going to give another reason, so I say, in addition, Children are naturally curious, and encouraging curiosity will lead them to be enthusiastic learners. Oops. So, when you're providing an additional or extra bit of support for a stated reason, then you would use in addition. Finally, the transition words for example. Now, we use for example after we have stated a position. Okay, we have stated a position, and we're going to give reasons for that position. Those reasons might be factual information, they might be numbers, they might be proofs that have come from a trusted source, or maybe we don't have any reasons or supporting information, but we have real life experience, or we have human experience that we can use to support that position. If you're talking about a movie that was terrible, there's no way to prove that a movie is terrible, but if you could talk about numbers, how many people did not go to see the movie, but you could also give your own personal experience and say that you cringed during the movie, or it was so bad that you walked out. So it is often used, for example, is often used to give real life examples to support a position that you have. For example, it's not good to be around people who smoke. So I've stated that it's not good to be around people who smoke, and I'm going to give my reason. Of course, there is factual information that shows that being around smoke's not good for you, but I'm going to provide a personal real-life experience or real-life proof, which is when I'm around smokers, I start coughing and my head hurts. So my reason for stating that it's not good to be around people who smoke comes from my own personal experience. The second example, the current system of retirement pension is doomed to fail. All right, I've made my statement. For example, at the current rate of population growth, many governments will not have enough funds to support those who have loyally contributed to their own pensions. So, to support my statement that the retirement pension system is going to fail, I provided a reason or an example of why it's going to fail. In this case, it's actually supported by factual information, but I don't give that factual information here. There are, of course, a lot of other transition words. I've just covered 4 of them. You use these words at the beginning of statements to let the listener or the reader know that something important is coming and that they have to listen. It is a good way to make a transition from whatever you have said before to this new bit of information that you're providing. Remember that with however and therefore, you need to put a semicolon in front and a comma after. But for example, and in addition, a comma after is sufficient.